Welcome back to Foreign Friday, where Tom and I will try to live in glory as our picks cross the line gloriously in first place as we collect some gold at the glorious Goodwood. Tom, I'm getting prepped. I forgot how crazy that track looks. It was just like someone randomly you ever see those commercials for like those robot vacuums that just kind of bounce off things and make their own path? That's kind of what the glorious Goodwood track looks like. Like someone just let one of those run around in the field.
Straightaway is pretty straightforward. Ha ha ha. But the loop and the 7 furlong race, they're interesting.
Yeah, man. Real quick, take a look at the race of the shape of this track, folks. Look at that. Boom. They just let what are those things called again? I don't know, iRobot or whatever it's called that does that. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, that's pretty wild looking right in there. All right. Well, before we do that, free pick says, go ahead.
Definitely keep you guessing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But you have no idea. What if, like, you saw the girl in swimming, right? Who beat everybody by like a pool length in the Olympics? A bit of talk of the Olympics, how she just smushed everybody. But what if one set of horses is so slow it's going this way while the other's coming that way? Do they yield?
No, that's the birds that are on the track.
Yeah, I've seen that happen before too. As always, free picks at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There's a link in the description below. Huge day of racing tomorrow at Saratoga with the Whitney. The Travers coming up a little bit later on in the month. That'll be our next wagering guide. Thomas, do you have any horses that you like in the Whitney tomorrow? Or you haven't made it that far?
Post time.
You'll know at post time, or that's the name of
it? No. That is a horse.
I know. I'm just playing with you, my friend.
Yeah, that's my top choice.
All right. Well, if Tom's top choice wins.
The more interesting race in my mind is the Saratoga Derby. And both Ryan Moore and William Buick are coming in.
Mm-hmm. And I did see that they're both coming in. Yep.
Yeah, so obviously, with $1 million on the line, that tends to attract
the big guns for sure. Yeah. You got Appleby, you got Aidan O'Brien, so the big guns coming from overseas. And when those big guns win and we pick them, make sure you head on over to horseracingtoday.net. Click on that HRT gear stuff. Get yourself a HRT number 6 shirt, Tom. You see that on the back, just like the 6 horse wears. And if you don't like black and yellow, you can go with whatever color that is, that chartreuse or something. I don't know what the color that is. I think I like the black. I think that one doesn't look too bad right there, Thomas. But you get free shipping right now, 20% off. And, of course, a little later on today when the show is over, I'll recap all of my picks, Tom's picks, our thoughts, and put a replay of the video over at horseracingtoday.net. There's that HRT gear link right there. So you can get your great gear and you can look good as well. All right, the first race we're going to do is race number 1. It is the Coral Glorious Stakes. It's 1 mile, 3 furlongs, 218 yards. What would they do with that extra without that 218 yards? I'm afraid to look on the chart to see where this one's going to be.
Oh, that's pretty easy.
1 mile.
Right.
There you go. Yeah, back here. So they go this way, I suppose, and then they come down.
And come on the outside.
And then down around the bend they come. Yeah. So what if one just cheats and just goes through here? Do they get DQ'd?
Well, I think they have dogs up to prevent them. But the jockeys know. I mean, these guys have ridden this course enough times for the most part that they have an idea.
Have you seen? Remember I don't know if it was a woman or a guy, I forget, who they ran a marathon and hid in the fog and then came running out at the end for like the last 100 yards.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and I should point out the gate is set like on an angle, kind of. If you've watched the races this week. Those races are just it's kind of weird to look at. I mean, it's just it looks like it's off, a little on an angle going down.
Not surprising considering the race shape there. I wouldn't expect anything different.
No,
but I also expect some winning picks from you, Thomas. So we must note that the going is good to firm. I took a look at the weather forecast. I don't think that's going to change to you, Tom.
I Good. They're expecting showers. So we'll see, but they are watering. So, and we've had some pretty good times. Cyprios set the track record in his race. The times have been pretty quick. Today we had Big Eves win in the King George and beat the winner of the Jubilee in Royal Ascot, the Australian horse. I can't think of her name right now. So interesting bunch of races. We'll start with, but we're not concentrating on what was. We're concentrating which will be, and that's
what's to come. Yes, indeed. And this is the easiest of all, I guess, with only 5 horses.
Really?
Well, the odds. So.
I mean, the bettors can't figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna start with number 1, Amric. Draw 5. Steps up in class here after missing by a neck in a listed race at Newmarket. Winner this season on the all-weather. And he's run second in other races. I just think he's the best horse in the race, and that's where I'm putting him. Number 3, Lion's Pride will be my next choice. Draw 3. He's run this season and finished third twice. He likes getting money. But the problem with this one is he can't get out of the gate cleanly. And so that could be an issue. But, it's a long race.
Well, a cockeyed gate might help him out a little bit.
He's going to step up a little in class, but a small field, Gosden, you got to watch out. And finally, this should be the favorite, which is Aase. That's draw 4. Group 3 winner last season at Haydock. Coming off its first start, ran second in a listed race in Newbury, and he's definitely the one to beat.
Well, I have some bad news for everybody, Thomas. I have the same 3 horses, slightly different order. So that means take the 4 and the 5, Phantom Flight and Relentless Voyager, in a otherwise toss-up race. I like Aim Eric. This one has fired off of the sidelines and probably the most consistent performer in the race. The likely favorite, though not yet, El Ace, I guess, does appear to have the most upside in the field. The only problem for me with this guy is there is the occasional stink bomb. So if the stink bomb shows up, he will be the 5th of 5. And then Lion's Pride, this horse might be the longest shot on the board. And according to Stephen Fielder, who wins a lot of those horse racing contests and 5-horse fields, he says always take the longest shot on the board. This one is the longest shot on the board, at least right now at 9-2. And he's never missed the money in 7 starts. And I expect you'll see a top effort out of Lion's Pride today. I contemplated actually putting him on top. Let's see where the predictor.
My issue was getting out of the gate.
Well, let's see how the predictor predicts it'll come out of the gate, finish line.
Put it on top.
Pow.
Well, you only got 5 horses, so.
Yeah, and the predictor seems to be just as confused as the bettors. And as I mentioned, one of the horses neither one of us has.
No, of course not. Phantom Flight.
It is your winner according to the predictor algorithm. So I don't remember how the predictor did last week. We kind of had a mixed bag. I felt like we got some winners in there, but really nothing all that big last week.
Nothing big, but on the other hand, at least we did better than we've done in the last couple of weeks. So
we were on a hot streak, though, so we were due for a little bit.
That was a little redeeming. But then, of course, we have a 28-horse field in one race here. So
we'll try our luck. And this is a big field. It was 14 horses, if I remember. I don't remember.
It's a full game.
Yeah, 14 right there. 14, max 14. It is the Coral Summer Handicap. It is a class 2 for 3-year-olds. A mile and 6 furlongs equates to a mile and 3/4.
Yeah, 3-year-olds and up.
And let's see where this mile and 3/4 bad boy is going to start.
Go down, right there.
Yes, right here. So they're going to go down and around in a loop. See, here's where one of those cases where I think a horse could get confused. Go that way. I've seen that before. Have you? Yeah. Not at this track, but horses that go backwards.
Oh, sure. But one thing we should point out at this track, and there are other tracks that have this too. If you ride the rail and come around on here and then in the rail. There's a cutaway at about a furlong out. And so there have been ones slipping up that using the rail to get the better trip. And then when that cutaway comes, jockey's waiting for it to get the horse going and get it over the line. So keep that in mind. The other thing I would keep in mind is speed's been holding pretty good. So if it doesn't soften up any, I'm going to think that's going to be the continuing trend.
Yeah, you get out to that front light footing. All right, Thomas, regardless of what happens with the weather, who's your winner?
I start with number 4, True Legend, with draw 2. I lost by a length last time out at Royal Ascot, running third, but it was a good race. I tossed his Newcastle race out because they took the blindfold off late, and I think it really messed the horse up but he ran for 5th, and he hasn't won yet this season, but I think this may be the right spot. Number 14, Dancing in Paris will be my next choice. Draw 7. Ran 4th last time out as one of the favorites. He was a joint favorite, but had issues again at the start. He's been running well since May with 2 wins and a second, and before that last race. So if you dismiss that last race because of start issues, I think it's got a nice chance here. And finally, I'm going to take a big price one, and that's number 12. And big price being 20. Well, it's good enough for me. 12, and that's Forenza Orta with draw 5. He's raced a bit wide in his last race. It was on the all-weather. Bit wide is an understatement. He ran 6th, and the trip was, not good. Hasn't won since August of last year, but he's been running at this level, and he's competing pretty well. It's just one of those horses you don't know what he's going to do, but I'm throwing him in there because I like the price. And you're no sound. No sound.
Yeah, I had to sneeze, so I had to mic myself. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so no one wants to hear
you
that.
stuck the mic in your nose? No, it'd be a little gross.
Well, it might fit. All right, Align the Stars. Likely favorite, 5 tips. It's no wonder. This horse is absolutely firing on all cylinders right now, and it appears just to be getting stronger race after race after race. So until it shows some regression, got to align with the Stars. Great bed win right inside that one, at least here. That's my next pick at 9-1. I think this one, I believe, will be better second off the sidelines. And the last time the horse ran at Goodwood, the comment, I liked it strongly. Maybe this one's a horse for the course. Number 2, Fairbanks, another one that might get some play from the bettors. It's another choice of mine. Definitely. Could be the favorite. Do you think it will be one of the favorites?
Yeah.
I think this one, so I had a really bad race, and then last time out it rebounded. So I kind of like to go back and look at patterns. I don't know how good or bad that is, but it's worked for me in the past. And I noticed that this horse tends to, when it rebounds, it tends to pair up good efforts. So last one was the first one. This should be the pair. And then finally, True Legend is my final choice in here. Hey, this week my bets are actually going in the right direction, Tom. Finally healthy. I like those horses, making the 3rd start in a row for the first time in almost a year. So I think that means that horse is coming out of races fit and ready to run the next race.
And Sir Mark knows how to place horses too, so that helps.
That's why you got the Sir in there. You can't be horrible at anything and get a Sir, right? In order to be knighted like that, don't you have to have like some success?
I would hope so.
They don't just take jamokes like you and me off of YouTube and go, okay, you are now officially a Sir.
Right.
We might someday, if we keep doing Foreign Friday. So look at this, another very competitive race. And again, a horse that neither of us mentioned, finding its way into the winner's circle, although all of the rest of our picks, sans Mr. Freedom, are right there as well. So again, play away from the predictor or play away from Tom and Rich. That's the moral of the story so far this Friday afternoon. We're sticking in order. We're going to go to race number 3 now. Usually we start somewhere in the middle of the card, so it's fun to start at the beginning of the card. This one is the Qatar Lillie Langtry Stakes, the Group 2 fillies and mares, Class 1. You can be 3-year-old or older. They're going to run a 1 3/4 miles once again. So we saw that over here on the 1 3/4 miles. As mentioned, Tom said they're going to go up. Speed's been holding up. They make that little shoot that Tom says they take advantage of. With all that in mind, Tom, let folks take advantage of your wisdom with your picks.
I'm going to start with the favorite, number 1, whose name I'm going to really butcher.
Yeah, that's all right.
Alice Clorister? I don't know. Draw 4. She didn't really travel well in her last race. It was a Group 1 race, Royal Ascot. But I think it would have been a miracle if she beat Cryptos anyway. So she's dropping back down and against her own, and I think that will help a lot. She's had good success at Group 3 races, and she's had good success against fillies and mares. She had a win before her layoff, and then she had 2 seconds. So she's been right there. I just tossed that last race. She just was over her head. And again, the bettors are in line with what the thinking is right at this point, and I have to agree. I'm going to take number 2, Dancing Tango, with draw 2 as my next choice. Another one was asked a lot of against a really good field last time out. Finished 5th, but it was pretty far back. I think it was 9 lengths back. Had 2 better runs before where it missed by half a length and a head. It's won on the good going before. I think they're going to adding the distance only can help this horse. And I think this is a much more field where it's more manageable for this horse. Number 10, Terms of Endearment, will be my final choice. And that is draw 10. She won her last start. She beat a few of these horses at York by 3/4 of a length. That was her first start of the season. It was in a Group 3. And the bettors knew something because she went off at 4-1. They're going to add distance. They got a race in her. I think she could be really good here. Going up a tiny bit in class, but 11-1 for a horse that looked pretty good is kind of hard not to put on your card, on your ticket.
Well, another hard, I think, card that's another horse that's hard to keep off your card, in my view, is River of Stars. So I'm sticking with the star theme in my pick for race 2 and 3. This one really knows how to find the board, Tom.
Fade, you're okay.
What's that?
As long as your stars don't fade, you're okay.
Yeah, or shoot through the star and burn out. Shooting star. This one knows how to finish in the money. 10 of 12, right? 4 wins, 4 seconds, 2/3. This one's also very solid off the bench and also very solid when the footing is solid. Number 4, Free Wind is next for me. This one's getting 4 tips. So you got 4 and 4. You got to like that. If his post position was 4, you'd really have to play that horse. But when you examine the past performances, you see the firm footing and then you see the other footing. This one really seems to prefer, by far, running on firm footing. So if it rains, maybe downgrade it a little bit. Number 11, the way we should spend our days, Thomas. And hopefully we'll be grateful when the race is over that we have this one in our picks. I look at this horse, Tom, and it looks to me like Aidan O'Brien's horse is coming into form for this spot today. I know a lot of times when we do our show, you mentioned that you feel like trainers specifically target a race. The way this horse is coming into form, I wonder if Aidan O'Brien is specifically targeting this spot. And then your first pick is my last pick in here. Caius Chorister, we'll go with that. I go ahead.
As well as I did.
Yeah, I tried. I think the difference is when you look at the last 3 races, they were all like 2 miles or more. And maybe that's just too long for that horse. So I know it sounds funny, but cutting back to 1 3/4 miles might actually be the tonic for this horse to get back into the winner's circle. Here in the States, 1 3/4 miles, we see that maybe once a year or something along those lines. Let alone a 2-mile race.
Well, Kentucky Downs has a 2.5 mile race this year. So an inaugural for, of course, a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah, another one of those tracks where they just let the random vacuum just kind of cut out a path for the horses to run. All right, let's take a look at the predictor for this one and see how let's see for the third race in a row if it picks a horse that neither one of us has, Tom. That would be borderline hilarious.
Yep, it did.
Yes, indeed. Mellow. Right there you go. With the one neither of us want to pronounce, and then Free Wind up in there. Otherwise, everybody else kind of in the back there. So, all right. So we're 0 for 3, Tom, according to the predictor. Maybe in the fourth race, we can get it right the fourth time being the charm, not the third. This is the Coral Stewards Cup. You mentioned speed's holding up with the track being the way it is. They're going to just fire down the straightaway. So no confusion, no chances for a horse to take a shortcut. Just straight away, Tom, are they breaking off into parts or are they just running straight down the course?
So far, they've been running towards the middle to the far side. So I'm thinking, those were 5 furlong races. So I'm thinking probably same scenario may hold true here. But also remember, this is a huge field.
So they probably have no choice but to run straight down the line. You mentioned it's a huge field. We're talking about 28 horses. That's how many? That's like a full card at Santa Anita nowadays.
Yeah.
Poor folks in Southern California had some great horse racing, and somehow it got all mixed up. All right, Tom, did you just reach into a hat and pull out numbers, or tell us why you picked who you picked?
I feel like that's the way I did it, but I'm going to try number 9, Mosta Shabar. Mosta Sheer. Yeah. Okay. Draw 24. Better at Royal Ascot 2 starts back than the last race. The last race just had way too many issues to overcome to do anything. Better run. Again, that Ascot run was a decent run. I think the move to 6 furlongs is really interesting. And this is a Gosden horse, so must be seeing something that extra time, that extra distance, because this is the first time it's ever run 6 furlongs. So I'm gonna, at those odds, I think it's an interesting choice.
Mama needs new shoes.
Yeah, number 6, 7 questions. Going next choice, draw 5. To say the horse was way overmatched in its last race is an understatement. Royal Ascot race with Big Eves and Alsephora and a lot of top-notch sprinters who, they're much better than this horse in that kind of a field. But he did beat 4 horses. It was a Group 1. So he's returning to 6 furlongs, where he's had success, and he has won a Group 3 in the past. So he may fit here nicely. Now I'm going to shoot the moon a little bit and go with number 21, the XO, with draw 17. And he is returning to 6 furlongs. And he showed some run in Epsom at 7 and then ran, it was an average race at Royal Ascot. His record is much better on all weather. Actually significantly better. But he's really one of those horses that if he's going to pop, it'll be for 3rd. And you'll get a nice each way price on him because he'll go off with big odds.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I don't know. I think I play this because the size of the field. Play at least 4 horses will be paying. So keep that in mind when you're betting. And because I have one more, which I normally don't do, but this size field, and for one reason, and that I'm going to take number 23, Dream Composer, with draw 15. This horse needs rain. And there is showers in the forecast, so maybe he won the dash this season at Epsom. He's run some good races. He's returning to 6. So he's won nicely, but he needs rain. And if it doesn't rain, I will not play him.
Well, I'm going to play a horse I played again. I played him last. I played him recently. I don't remember, but I remember his name. I think he finished 3rd or 2nd. But Billy Joe or Billy O or whatever they're going to call this guy.
He ran on Tuesday.
Yeah, and he finished 2nd. So why not throw him back out on Saturday? I'm sure his legs feel great.
Well, this is actually his third start in 2 weeks.
So indeed. So he's ready to go, man. There's no questioning his fitness. But they're going to cut back in distance, so maybe that helps him. Look at the betting line. Tick, 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 tick. Maybe they know something. Number 11, Lethal Levi. That's going to get my call. One tip there, too, so now you can make it 2. Third up, that's usually one of the horse's better races. You know, he'll be fit and firm as well. Cutting back in distance is useful here, too. Number 2, the Dark Trooper is my third choice. And here are 2 tips on that one, so make it 3. Solid performer. And one of the things I like about this horse is that it's shown it can win in big fields. I think it ran against 24, 29 horses, some crazy number last time out. And I wonder if sometimes when horses get in those big fields, if they get distracted or perhaps lose a little bit of their competitiveness. And then oddly enough, Tom, for your rare 4th pick and my usual 4th pick, we lined up on the same horse, Dream Composer. So out of 28 horses, we agree on 1. It's our long shot. What I like about it, it's another one making the classic third start after a layoff. And if you look through the times, actually ran faster last out. So that one's another one of those horses that may be coming to form.
It needs rain, unfortunately. On a hard track, good to firm, I'm going to say pass.
Well, I'm not going to pass. Let's see if the predictor passes. I mean, as odds are that it's going to be 4 races in a row. But do you think it's going to be a competitive race? Oh, look at that. We finally got a winner, Thomas. Billy Joe in his 3rd start in 2 weeks, provided that his muscles are not too sore to run again. I know from talking with Charles, who used to train some horses, he mentioned that usually about a week out, and he said a lot of these horses in the barns, you know when they're ready to run again because they're like kicking and they're showing a lot of energy. A lot of other horses after a race, they're just kind of a little bit, they're showing signs of being tired. So I guess he's kicking the barn and ready to go. I mean, we're ready to go off to the Whispering Angel Handicap. This one is 7 furlongs. You mentioned that was a funky distance in there, Tom. They're going to start here. And then do they go to the outside or they go to the inside?
Outside.
So they got to come here and kind of bend out a little bit. That's an interesting, and then bend back in. So how does that impact the race, that bend out and bend in?
It's just basically post position. I don't like the outside for maybe a placing for an outside position post, but not to win.
So these horses over here, they have a hard time because that little bend there, these horses get a good dash to that turn and it allows them to take it quicker. All right, I can see that. So who's going to make that mad dash to the turn and win that race and then ultimately win this race, Tom?
Number 6, we're going to start with Mission to Moon, the Moon, or to Moon, or to Mooning. I don't know. Draw 4. Really ran well last time out. Royal Ascot finished 4th in the group it was in, but it was leading it at one point and went off at 25-1. He seems to be more suited for 7 furlongs, and he's won on a lot of different goings. So I'm thinking the form is good, and he should really be able to hit here. And the bettors are agreeing with me for the most part. Number 8, Kurat, or Kurat, I don't know. Draw at 9. Won at first asking in May at this distance at Goodwood. And then ran at Royal Ascot. It was a joint favorite, finished 6th. His last run, he was up with the leaders, and then he just finished. He generally runs more closer to the pace, but he also has run from the rear. I'm hoping he won't run from the rear because I don't think he'll have a chance. But he's returning to 7 furlongs, and I think that's good. And we'll see what he can do. Finally, I'm going to take one of the outside horses. Number 1, Indian Run, who's going to break from 14. He's run against some of these horses before and done okay. But he was a little too keen in that race. And in the mid of the race, he was just lacked room to be able to get out. Ran 11th. But I think it was was one of those races where he just didn't get the trip. It's interestingly because as a 2-year-old he won a Group 3 race, but he has really he could use a little help here, and he is getting some class relief. So we'll see if that makes the difference against these 3-year-olds.
I'm going to go with Jahangir. I don't know if I got that right. The number 4 horse. That's where I'll start. Race number 5. As you and I have, what's there? How many horses in this field? There are 14 horses. We make 7 picks, and we don't agree on one. So we have half of the field. So I would, again, focus on the other half of the field. Jahangir runs his best when jockey Tom Eves rides. Tom, guess he's riding again. First time in a career that this one's making 3 consecutive starts in a row. I put that into my really healthy column. Ballymont Boy, the 2 horse, the next call for me, gets a tip, so can make it 2. I think this one has the most upside potential in the race. At its best, Tom, I think he wins and perhaps can do so easily at 9-1. That would not be bad. Number 10, Arctic Thunder is my next play in here. Ocean Murphy, Andrew Balding. That's probably a great name. I hope he's got a full head of hair. This horse has run 2 races on turf, one of which was at 7 furlongs. He won that race, did so with ease. So maybe a horse for the 7 furlong turf course. And then finally, number 5, Witness Stand, 25-1 to close the show. Thomas, 2 of his best races came at 7 furlongs. Maybe another one of those horses that loves that quirky distance. It's going to get an inside draw too, Tom. You think that works out well? So if he gets a good draw at a distance he likes, why not?
It'll definitely help. One thing to point out on this website, if you go down to the bottom there, there are comments about each of the horses, which may assist people in trying to make picks and give you some equipment changes and things like that you may not see in the past performances that you wouldn't look at. So that can help.
And in our recap over at horseracingtoday.net, which I'll post a little bit later on today, I do link off to all of the racing post pages that we review while we're here. So you can look at the predictor later on and see if it's different than it is on the show. Maybe they show a different predictor for different people, so they feel like
you're writing your own predictor, aren't you?
I am writing my own predictor. In fact, I'm almost done with my own predictor. Yeah. I finally it was kind of a hack, where I used ChatGPT to kind of find an answer. Mission to the moon. All right. Well, Thomas has a winner according to the predictor. I have a winner according to the predictor. So it might be an okay day for us, Thomas, tomorrow at glorious Goodwood. But nonetheless, we do have some long shots on our picks. I do think they're going to work out fairly well. You did mention I am working on something. I finally cracked the code to get. So my problem was in Excel, just real quick on a tangent here, but in the left-hand column, so column A, all the way from top to bottom is where they list the race number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and whatever many races there are. But the number of horses changes, right? There's sometimes 6 horses in a race. Sometimes there's 28 horses in a race. Not in the United States, but
no, we don't have. The 20 is about the max
for the Derby.
Yeah,
and it's usually just the Derby. A lot of other races, more often than not, 16 is the max, which is where I capped it at. So I got to open it up to 20 just for the Derby. But anyway, trying to get. So I wanted to put all the horses in race 1 in tab 1, all the horses in race 2 in tab 2, trying to get it just to do that with all the available tools, try to write via VBA code, a whole bunch of it. And it worked out to be a very easy solution. I couldn't believe, but thank you for ChatGPT to helping me to do that. Now I just got to put them all into one Excel sheet. And then we're going to have this great data stuff that you can't get anywhere else. And to make sure you don't miss it, follow us on all of our sites. Horse Race the number 2 day. It's actually on my list of things to try to get finished by Monday, Thomas.
Cross our fingers.
Yes, indeed. Next Friday, my schedule's up in the air. I'm not 100% sure where I'll be on Friday. If I'm here, Tom, where will it be?
We will choose between either Ascot or Chester.
And I'm going to say right now that's 50-50 that if I'm available. The following Friday, I will 1,000% be available, but I'm not so sure about
the following Friday. We would be heading towards Newberry.
Newberry, beautiful. At some point, we'll start looking at on the other side of the world, right? What after like
we're getting there, not that far away.
Yes,
springtime in Australia.
Back to the land down under where they hang by their feet and the horses race upside down and ass backwards. It's amazing how they survive.
Hong Kong's on its break right now too, so we'll be looking there, and we got a bunch of big races coming up. So, and a lot of them better look at closely because some of these may have Breeders' Cup effects. Opera Singer winning. They've talked about the Arc for her. They've also talked about the Fillies and Mare Turf Breeders' Cup race. So that's an Aidan O'Brien and another masterful ride by Ryan Moore on that horse on the front end to beat a decent field in the Nashua.
Well, tomorrow you'll have Ryan Moore, you'll have Aidan O'Brien, you'll have William Buick, you'll have Charles Appleby. They're all going to be in Upper New York at Saratoga. Again, we'll have all of those selections over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Some free picks tonight at Penn National. You can go about getting those in the link in the description down below. And then, of course, horse racing today. Get yourself some HRT gear. You can customize it. We appreciate the support. Thomas, any final words of wisdom before we part this Friday?
Well, enjoy that 28 horse field. If you can pick the winner out of that one, you've done a great job, because those are real challenges in my mind. And probably if not, straight down the straightaway at Royal Ascot's bad enough. This one isn't any better.
Yeah, I think we both have the winner. Forget what the predictor has to say. All right, Thomas. Well, until we get back together again on Monday, Terry and I will do Ellis Park. You're going to want to tune in for that. Last Monday, Terry smoked the pick 4 there, late one. He had both of them, actually. The first one was kind of cheap, but the second one paid almost $4,500. So hopefully he can follow that up with another robust performance at Ellis Park. And then on Tuesday, we'll do Horseshoe Indianapolis. And again, Wednesday and Thursday, we'll fall back into the spa at Saratoga. Till then, treat everybody you know kindly. Treat everybody you don't know kindly. And hopefully all your endeavors are filled with God's grace, God's favor. And until then, Tom, hopefully everything ends up in
the winner's enclosure.
Indeed. Thanks for joining us today. Have a wonderful weekend.